Hi, this is Cristina.
And Daphne.
You know what? Hi, this is Velma, curly-haired Velma. Mexican curly-haired Velma.
This is Daphne.
Daphne.
It's Carmen.
Yes, and this is another episode of Espooky Tales, a podcast for all things spooky, haunted, sometimes true crime, Latin America. This month only spooky things
for a spooky season.
Yeah, it's the official spookiest month of like the entire year. It's October. Every episode this month we are in costume, and yes, today we are Velma and Daphne, although I didn't want to put my wig on because today is an actual really good curly haired day for me. So
yeah, but it's still giving Velma.
Yeah, and plus you're Daphne, so it's like duh. So if you want to see our costumes, head over to YouTube. This will be there. Today we're gonna do more Mano Peluda stories. It's gonna be a shorter episode because I don't feel great, so I'm on the start of a cold. So yeah, a little bit of a shorter episode, but we're here because you know what? We are contractually obligated to have episodes every week. No. no. So before we get to our stories, which are going to be more Mano Peluda stories because we love them, Daphne has a listener story. Do you want to read it? Oh, sorry. First, if you have a story you want to send into the podcast for us to read, you can email spookytales@gmail.com. You can DM us on any of our socials. You can submit it on Discord. You can call the Spooky Hotline. Those are all options, and all of that is in the show notes as well. Okay, now Daphne.
Yes, Velma, time for the listener story. Okay, this is from Stephanie. Stephanie says, "Hey chicas, so back in 2016, my husband and I finally called it quits. Our daughter was a year old. The following year in November, my ex's mother passed away, and the night of the Rosario, I decided to stay home. I didn't want to take our kids to something like that just yet. They were all little, 6 and under, and I was changing my daughter, getting her ready for bed, when she told me something was behind me, and I'm like, what's behind me? And she's like, behind you, mommy. And I'm like, what's behind me? And she got serious in a deep voice and said, Nana. And I was like, what the fuck?
Oh no.
You're on your own. I'm going to get your bottle. So I let her down and walked out of the room. Hell no, I was going to look behind me. The woman never liked me. And that's the end of it.
And we don't blame you for that, Stephanie, because I would have done the same.
Yeah, any reasonable person would have done that.
That was scary, but also funny. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so these stories are from La Mano Peluda. I'm going to start with the shorter one. So one of these is just an episode of La Mano Peluda that was a very short call. The other one is from the book that our lovely listener,
Geraldine,
yes, sent pictures of. So this one is what I'm titling El Oso.
Okay, like our dog.
Yeah, we did have a dog with the name El Oso, but this is not about a dog. So Martin called La Mano Peluda, and he tells the following story that happened to him when he was 14 years old. He went to go live with his older sister. She was a police officer, and so was his brother. So they left for work super early, around 5 a.m. every morning. And at the time, his mom was staying with a different older brother. So he just went with his sister. And, they're gone all day, his two siblings, and so it's just him in the house basically. And when they were kids, his sister had gotten this giant teddy bear as a gift. Do you remember our giant teddy bears?
Yeah.
So picture it like that size. They're just giant bears. She still had this teddy bear from her childhood. Now it's in her room. And one night, he was expecting his siblings home, but his sister called and said that they were working late, both of them. She was on a 24-hour shift, and then the other brother was just also working. So it was just Martin by himself. And for some reason, that night was extra cold. And so he's like, you know what? Because no one else is here, it's extra cold. I'm going to go sleep in my sister's room because she had a space heater. Mm-hmm. And I guess he didn't just take it. He left it in there, and he was just going to sleep in her bed and with the space heater all comfy. So he went in there. And he fell asleep right away. He was laying on his side, fast asleep, and it was 4 a.m. now. Suddenly he woke up. He doesn't know why he woke up, but when he woke up, he turned her to his other side, and then the giant bear was just there next to him. And it said, "What are you looking at?"
Oh my God.
Give this. Give me this. So he immediately got up so fast, ran out of the house with the blanket, and just stayed outside until his sister got home.
That's what he gets for trying to use her room.
The bear was like, "No, you can't sleep here." when his sister got home, he told her what happened. And he thought she was going to say, like, you're crazy and laugh. But no, she was like, you know what? Ever since we were kids, I felt like something was up with that bear.
Oh my God.
There was another kid in the neighborhood that she always, like, you know, they were just in and out of each other's houses. And so this kid was always like talking to the bear. And she just thought for the longest time that kid was just weird. And then he moved away. So she was like,
she's
whatever.
like, oh my God, it wasn't just him.
Yeah. So yeah. And so she's like, whatever, I don't have to think about this again, until this happened to her brother. And now she's like, oh my God, it wasn't him. It was the bear. The bear was like coming to life.
Wow.
So yeah, that is el oso peluche.
It's a sign. Don't get one of those.
No, don't get a giant bear. Ours were fine. And they were twins like us.
Yeah.
Okay, and that was the first story. It was short. We're going to take a little ad break, and now we'll be back with the longer Mano Peluda story. And we're back. So this is the story that's from the book.
Okay.
I forget what it's called in the book. I can't remember. But we'll just get into it. So Arturo worked in el metro, so the train station. And just like every third day, he was meeting his girlfriend in one of the train stations. So this is just something they did. They met each other and they had like a little date and walked home together.
Cute. Very cute.
Right? And on this day, there had been a terrible accident at their usual meeting spot the day before. And so everything was still there from the accident, like the tape, you know, a scene of, you know. So when Angelica arrived at their meeting spot, Arturo told her about that terrible accident that happened. A man had fallen in the tracks and was dismembered when the train couldn't stop.
Oh no.
Very unfortunate. And then they walked over together to where the accident took place. Like they looked over at the train tracks. Morbid curiosity, you know.
Very human nature.
Yeah. And the giant blood stain was still there. Yeah, it still looked pretty bad. And when they were looking at it, as Arturo was telling Angelica about what happened, she started to feel sick. She got a sudden intense headache, and she also started feeling a little dizzy. And so because of this, he was like, okay, let's just go home. He helped her home. A few days later, strange things started happening to Angelica. She started having horrible nightmares every night. And they were always the same. A scrawny, sickly man that wanted to harm her in her nightmares.
Oh my God.
And then it got to the point where she started feeling like someone was sitting in her bed. Like she could feel the bed being like the spot down. Would sink down. Mm-hmm. Yes, way down. But then, you know, she would look and no one was there except the sunken spot.
Oh no.
Then her blanket started being pulled off of her every night. Mm-hmm. She was so scared. She had to tell her family what was going on, but they didn't believe her. They told her that she was just really affected by the accident that had happened at her boyfriend's work, that she just needed to forget about it and move on. Her friends told her the same, but the paranormal activity only started getting worse. And then her life changed. Like she was no longer happy. She was withdrawn, and like the smallest sound scared her. She thought she was going crazy. Everyone around her was gaslighting her that these things weren't happening when they were. That's like your typical horror movie.
Believe women when they say they're possessed, when they say they're being haunted.
Yeah, both. Always believe women. So one day while she was laying down in her bed, she saw the shadow of a man standing at the foot of her bed. When she tried to yell for help, she was paralyzed. Then the shadow got closer to her, and she realized it was the scrawny, sick man from her dreams.
Oh, no.
He smelled rotten, dead. When he got next to her, he crouched down and whispered in her ear, "I wasn't supposed to die. That son of a bitch pushed me. He wanted half of what we stole. Angelica, you will be the one to avenge me. If you say no, I will never. Hear me out. You will never know peace."
What the hell?
And then she passed out. When she woke up hours later, she yelled out, Mom, tell it to leave, tell it to leave. Like she was just yelling this again and again and again. So then her whole family ran into her room, and they noticed her room smelled horrible. It was so cold in there, things that were not normal. Now they were worried and scared. But you know what? What about before when she said things were happening to her, you know? That was a time to start
prevention.
figuring out. Yeah. So they stayed with her the whole night until it was morning the next day. Her parents didn't know what to do. They thought maybe she was on drugs or that she needed urgent medical care. They found a psychologist to take her to. He told them she seemed very nervous and afraid. He recommended some tests to check for different things, mental disorders. But in the meantime, he prescribed a medication to calm her nerves and told her that, she needed to stay calm for the next few days and that she needed to avoid strong emotions.
A little hard to do when you're being haunted.
Yeah. But things were fine for the next few days, surprisingly. The family did what the psychologist said, and Angelica was sleeping at her mom's bed. She wasn't by herself at all at her room since all this had happened.
The least they could do for her.
Right. After that, for the first time in a long time, the nightmares, the blanket pulling, all of it stopped while she was in her mom's room. But one day, her mom had to go to get el mandado, run errands, things like that. So she wasn't home. She left the house and Angelica was there with her brothers. That's when the voice of the scrawny, sick man returned. And it said, Angelica, Angelica, you disobeyed me. Now I'm ordering you, go to the place where I was killed. And as if she were hypnotized, she just stood up and walked out of her house. Her brothers were like, where are you going? Where are you going? She just kept walking. She didn't listen to them because she was hypnotized, I guess, or like under some sort of like spell, I guess. So she went back to the train station, which was now full of passengers because it was that time of day where everyone's going home from work. And she stood in front of the area where the fatal accident took place. So still up on like the platform, not down in the tracks.
Yeah.
But she began to walk to the edge of the platform. And then she heard a voice, or she heard the voice again. When the train is close enough, jump, because you were a coward. Now you're going to keep me company for eternity.
Oh my God.
Right? And so just as she was about to throw herself onto the tracks, someone grabbed her by the arm and told her, muchacha, what's wrong with you? Are you crazy? You're going to fall. And this snapped her out of her trance. She's like, oh my God, what was I about to do? And she couldn't explain to herself or remember at all leaving her house. Like she was like, what am I even doing at the train station? Like she has no recollection of walking there. So then she turned around and she ran back home because she couldn't handle all the weird looks from all the people at the train station because she was, about to jump. When she got home, her mom was worried sick. Angelica didn't tell her exactly what happened at the train station because she didn't want to worry her even more. But then this all made her even more anxious. This is when she finally decided to call La Mano Peluda and tell the radio show her story because maybe they could help. And so La Mano Peluda team sent a truck for her. And once she arrived and she was waiting in the lobby for them to talk to her, she fainted. And El Maestro Soham, and if you recall from the other times we talked about El Mano Peluda, I don't remember what he does, but he's some sort of parapsychologist or paranormal professional that is always, with La Mano Peluda.
He's part of the team.
He's part of the team, yeah. A listener sent me his exact title and it was very professional and I can't remember it. So he was there and he was helping her. They finally were able to get her to wake up and they took her to another room where then El Maestro Soham told Juan Ramon Sáenz that he believed Angelica was possessed by some dark entity. And since she had woken up, she was acting a little weird. Her, when people say they're not here, her look was miles away.
Yeah.
That's what she looked like, yeah. When she did speak, her voice was deep and rough, not like her own.
She's fully possessed.
Yeah. So, this being La Mano Peluda, they're broadcasting all the...
Right. Live.
Yeah. So their mics are on. They're recording. El Maestro Soham began to interrogate Angelica. But Angelica, she's not the one answering.
She's no longer Angelica.
No. So she was saying things like, why do you care? Leave me alone. She's mine. I'm taking her, in a deep, disturbing voice. And, El Maestro Soham is trying to do what he can. He's like, you're not taking her. I'm evoking Archangel Michael. He'll take you from here and deliver you to hell. And then Angelica / not Angelica was like, go fuck yourself.
What was this spirit's name? Did we see?
We don't know yet.
Oh, we don't know.
Okay.
He
doesn't. It's the person that got hit
right
by the train tracks, but I don't know
at some point he would say his name.
We'll see. So he was like, not you or anyone's gonna stop me. Ha 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 ha. We don't have Aiden
to do his evil laugh.
Yeah. Angelica fainted again after this. And her mom was crying and crying. And so a producer was like, you need to calm down. Let's get you out of this room. Everyone was feeling afraid. The room was tense. They continued to air, of course.
Of course.
The show must go on. I would do the same. No, I'd be scared. I wouldn't be there.
And you would have ran out.
I like to pretend
Speak
that
from
I
experience.
No, I know. I would have pushed anyone who was in my way,
including me.
Yes. Sadly. I'm sorry again. Sorry. Okay, so
I still don't forgive you.
It's okay. Okay, yeah. So they continued to air the program, but like before demon possessed Angelica said anything horrible, they were like cut to commercial. Like, oh my God, I can't let her say that on air.
Cut.
Yeah, but pretty much. Cut.
Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So the team tried to call Angelica back, like repeating her name to, have her come out of this possession. It wasn't working. She wasn't responding. They started to pray. After 30 minutes of this, she yelled out and then fainted again. The show continued. And as the show was like currently live, security went up to the producers and they were like, there's some people outside. They've been listening to this episode and they thought the train death had sounded oddly familiar to their relative who had been killed.
Oh.
Yeah. After he fell onto the tracks. But they weren't sure because, the Mano Peluda, they didn't say any names. They didn't say, they just said like the backstory of, what the same thing we heard is what was airing. So they didn't know if it was their family member. They were like, our family member just died at the train tracks. So the family or the people that were outside weren't sure because, no names were mentioned, but the Mano Peluda team brought them inside on air and they were there like talking about their family member that had just died. And they even had like a, an ID, like a death certificate, things like that to prove that their relative had died this way. And then, while they were talking with this family that was outside, Angelica had been in a different room, like resting, but she wanted to hear what they said. So she was listening in. And when she went from like resting to then like getting super anxious as they were continuing to say their family member's story. And then Juan Ramon Sáenz was like, it's okay. It's over. They're here to know if it's the same person, like their family member is the person who is possessing you. Because it had been ruled an accident and, this person that possessed her said they were murdered. Yeah. Right. And so they showed a picture of their relative and then Angelica yelled out, it's him. He's going to come back. Please help me. And she was like freaking out, hysterical. That's the word I was looking for. A hysterical woman just yelling that it was him and that he was going to come back. So El Maestro Soham let her out into a different room so she could calm down. But it was confirmed. The spirit that had been tormenting poor Angelica was these people's relatives. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And unfortunately, he didn't tell her like so-and-so pushed me. The spirit never said a name while it was possessing her.
Oh my God. Is it one of the relatives that are there?
No, we don't. No, I don't think so.
Okay.
But with that information, the family was able to at least go back to the police and open an investigation into the death of their relative to say it wasn't an accident like what they thought it was. It's murder. Yeah. And so it seemed like the entity had left Angelica's body after this.
Okay. He just wanted someone to be held accountable or like at least for it to be looked into.
Yeah. So that's good at least. Because after the family had left, they got their confirmation. She started to sweat, then she got super cold, then nauseous, and she began to throw up. And I guess that's the process of a spirit leaving your body. I don't know. Because after that, she went home and she was able to go back to school, resume normal life.
And she lived happily ever after.
She did. She lived happily ever after.
Spirit free.
Yeah.
Good. That's good for Angelica.
I'm glad we got a happy story because the last one was sad.
The last one ended in death.
The last possession story, yeah, it was terrible.
That was a demon.
Died. The demon one, yeah. Yeah, that was a demon. This was apparently just a mad ghost of a person that stole something with someone else.
Yeah.
So yeah, those were the two stories. Again, a shorter episode because I am feeling sick. My throat has been sore. Today I had like zero energy until like right now that I was telling this story. So
I, for one, had a good day. There was a potluck at work, a breakfast potluck, my favorite kind of food ever.
Nice.
I actually cooked something. I never cook anything.
Okay.
I took breakfast tater tots. You know, like tater tots with
like
eggs and bacon and cheese.
My God, that sounds delicious.
It was good.
I miss
tater tots are just the best.
They're my favorite. They're lovely. Okay, well, let's do some spooky recommendations. Do you have any?
I do.
Okay.
I finished a couple audiobooks. I forgot when we recorded with Aiden and Lainey, I thought I didn't have spooky recommendations, but I did. So I listened to the audiobook Maeve Fly by CJ Lead or Led, I'm not sure. Have you heard of that book?
You showed me the cover.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
the cover is beautiful.
That looks good, but I don't know anything else about it.
Maybe you can put up a picture of it.
I will put up a picture of it.
Okay, so the description is, by day, Maeve Fly works at the happiest place in the world as every child's favorite ice princess. By the neon night glow of the Sunset Strip, Maeve haunts the dive bars with a drink in one hand and a book in the other, imitating her misanthropic literary heroes. But when Gideon Green, her best friend's brother, moves to town, he awakens something dangerous within her, and the world she knows suddenly shifts beneath her feet. Untethered, Maeve ditches her discontented there's a weird word, I guess.
Yeah.
Discontented act and tries on a new persona, a bolder, bloodier one, inspired by the pages of American Psycho. Step aside, Patrick Bateman. It's Maeve's turn with the knife. It was good. It was entertaining, and I loved the voice of the audiobook person or voice actor. Very serial killer-y.
Okay.
There's also like a lot of like sex scenes and stuff. I don't know. Some people don't like that. Just FYI, if you're not into that.
Okay.
Very gory also.
Okay.
Like body horror, I guess. So if you also don't like that, I would steer clear of this one. But I don't know, it's that very like, like why can't women be serial killer type vibe?
Women can do it too.
Yes, it was like that. I liked it.
Oh my God.
I would categorize it under those like unhinged woman type books that I've been reading lately.
Oh my God, I love that. You have really been like leaning into that this spooky season this year.
Yes. It's like the eyes are the best part, mother thing, very much in line with those in different ways though. Like the characters are very different. And it was so funny to listen to because you know how it says she works at the happiest place in the world as every child's favorite ice princess. So like generically, it's like a generic way to describe Disneyland. And she's
the movie Frozen.
Anna?
Oh.
No, I don't remember which one is which.
No.
Oh. Yeah, right?
One of the two.
One of the two. I think so. I don't remember. But I mean, it was good.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it has. And then I also finished the audiobook. It's called One of Us is Dead. This is not like horror. It's more like a thriller.
Oh, I was like, why does that sound familiar? I was thinking of All of Us Are Dead. One of my favorite shows ever.
Yeah, I love that show. Maeve Fly is also more like a thriller, and it's not really horror, like as in like I don't know.
Yeah, some people
horror.
like to separate the two. For me, it's like
for me, it's very much like the same. Like this one was interesting, very entertaining, very like I feel like a Real Housewives meets like a crime show involving murder.
Oh, that sounds fun.
It was. Let me read that description. Meet the women of Buckhead, a place of expensive cars, huge houses, and competitive friendships. Shannon was once the queen bee of Buckhead, but she's been unceremoniously dumped by Bryce, her politician husband. When Bryce replaces her with a much younger woman, Shannon sets out to take revenge. Crystal has stepped into Shannon's old shoes. A young, innocent Texan girl, she simply has no idea what she's up against. Olivia has waited years to take Shannon's crown as the unofficial queen of Buckhead. Finally, her moment has come, but to take her rightful place, she will need to use every backstabbing, manipulative, underhand trick in the book. Jenny owns Glow, the most exclusive salon in town. Jenny knows all of her clients' secrets and darkest desires, but will she ever tell? Who amongst these women will be clever enough to survive Buckhead, and who will wind up dead? They say that friendships can be complex, but no one said it could ever be this deadly. Ooh. I loved it, but I love that like catty type thing, like to watch it, not to be involved in it. That's not me. But
no.
but to watch it unfold, like I live for that.
Same. What was this one called
sorry,
again?
I have one more. One of Us is Dead by Geneva Rose.
Okay,
I did see some reviews complaining that she got like some things like factually wrong, like Buckhead is not a town, it's county apparently in like Atlanta or something. I'm like, who fucking cares? Like, I'm sorry, who cares? Not me.
Yeah, I agree.
And then I listened to Ghost Radio by Leopoldo.
This I wanted to hear about. I wanted to ask you about it, but then I figured you were going to talk about it here. So do tell.
So I didn't even say what I rated the other two. I think the other ones I rated 4. Because for me to rate something like 4 and 5, I have to love it. 3 is like I like it. It was entertaining, but like some things maybe annoyed me.
Okay. Every time I see anything under 4, I'm like, why did you hate this book?
That's what she told me because we follow each other on Storygraph.
That's literally what I messaged you. I'm like, what was wrong with this book? Like, why did you hate it?
I was like, no, I liked it. Like 3 means good.
It's that reel you sent me a little bit ago that was like,
when you're dumb.
Everything is 5 out of 5 when you're dumb.
Yeah, that's me. Usually me too. But this one, I did give it 3.5. And for me, like 3 is like 4 is okay. No, so 3 is good. 4 is great. 5 is amazing.
Okay.
2 is meh.
Okay.
1 is like I hate this. Fuck this shit.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. Yeah. No, This makes total sense now. So Ghost Radio. Yeah. I want to hear about this because it's narrated by Pedro Pascal, right?
I loved Pedro Pascal's voice. Actually, I had never really heard him talk that much because I haven't watched any of his shows.
Right. You didn't watch
Game of Thrones. He's in, right?
Yeah. And then that other one that's like zombie, but not zombie.
Yeah.
They're like,
I don't remember what it's called right now.
Me neither. It was on Max.
Yeah.
It's based on a video game. People know.
Yeah. So yeah, I haven't really like heard him talk. And why did I think he had like a stronger accent? He doesn't.
No. I mean, he can.
Yeah. But like he also cannot. Anyway, like he doesn't if he doesn't want to.
Right.
So let's read what this one is about. From the cramped sorry, that's a funny way to say that. From the cramped bowels of a dimly lit radio station. Isn't it? Bowels?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Ghost Radio is beamed onto the airwaves. More than a call-in show to tell scary stories about vampires and poltergeist, Ghost Radio is a sanctuary for those sleepless denizens of the night, lost halfway between this world and the next. Joaquin, the hip, melancholy host, sits deep in a fog of cigarette smoke, fielding calls from believers and detractors alike. He is joined in the booth by his darkly beautiful girlfriend, Alondra, and his engineer, Watts. Soon, what began as an underground cult sensation is primed to break out to mainstream audiences. When a huge radio conglomerate offers to syndicate the show and Ghost Radio becomes a national hit with an expanding legion of hardcore fans, neither Joaquin, Alondra, nor Watts is remotely prepared for what is about to happen. When Joaquin notices a curious and troubling phenomenon, he is inexplicably drawn further and further into the terrifying stories he solicits on the radio. As he slowly loses control over his reality and finds himself unable to distinguish between the real world and the world populated by the nightmares of on Ghost Radio, he's forced to confront his past and his own mortality in order to repair the crumbling wall between the living and the dead. So like the paranormal stuff was good. It was scary, trippy. There's like alternate timelines, like a reality where you're like, what the, like his reality is distorted by the spirit that's like haunting him.
Okay.
And in the end, you're like, oh my God, like did that really happen? So the paranormal stuff I very much enjoyed. Joaquin himself I found annoying. Alondra, annoying as fuck. His friends annoying. Like they were they were like too serious. I feel like. I guess that's what it was. They felt like too serious. And but you know, some people like don't care about that. Like some people care more about the story. So I feel like if you're like that, then this would be great. I liked it still. I would recommend it. The story was good, but the characters were annoying.
Okay, I am gonna check it out. We forgot to say, but it is written by Leopoldo Gaut, who is our current book club author that we're reading. Piñata? That is to say, he wrote it too. And when the show came out that we can't remember the name of, I keep wanting to say
show? Oh, the one that you're talking about.
All of Us Are Dead, and it's not. It's
what is
the one based on the video game, The Last of Us.
Yes, isn't that what it's called? The Last of Us.
Okay, I think it is The Last of Us. Man,
like,
that's a
Ghost Radio
long.
had like this rise in popularity. Where I think
Popularity
they reprinted
because
it.
of him, because of Pedro Pascal, because of
Well, not reprinted it, I guess, because the audiobook
no,
is what
the
became
audiobook
popular.
soared in popularity because
Yeah.
of him. Yeah, but I've been wanting to check it out ever since I found Piñata.
Yeah,
That
I
reminds
think
me-
you should. I did
Yeah.
like the characters a lot more, Piñata.
Okay, wait, was that all you were gonna say about?
Yeah, I think that was it. Those were all my thoughts on
Okay.
it. I've been wanting to write down my thoughts more, so maybe I start reviewing stuff, writing down. But writing reviews scares me because I'm dumb, you know? Like,
No, same.
so I just leave my little rating.
Yeah. Some people have like these like smart ass sounding.
I actually
like,
can't stand those reviews. I'm like, just tell me like
okay.
what you liked about it and what you didn't. See, and I did. I said I liked the story, I liked
You're
the
right.
haunting, the paranormal was great.
You know what?
But the characters were annoying.
Yeah, maybe people just need like a basic bitch review, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what I can give.
Me too.
Nothing more, nothing
No.
less.
Yeah.
Did you finish Piñata already or no?
I did finish it yesterday
You
or the day
did.
before. Yeah.
Oh, well, I will send out our book club questions then, and then we'll record the episode after. Hopefully some of you have answered the questions by the time we record, and we'll see.
Yeah.
What was I going to say?
Your spooky recommendations.
Oh, yeah. You just had yours. I forgot.
Mhm.
I don't know what's gotten into me, but I suddenly became obsessed with The Walking Dead again. I don't know what happened. I never finished it back when it was airing.
Me either.
It was such a huge deal when it was airing, though.
What season did you stop watching it?
When I heard about what happens to Glenn.
Okay. As soon as I saw that, I was like, nope, I'm not watching it anymore.
When they were in Alexandria, around there. And then I heard, it was like right before the episode where Glenn, and apparently that was always meant to happen. It's in the comics.
Yeah.
So I just didn't know. And I
just love Glenn so much that I couldn't handle it.
Same. But I'm curious about, you know what? It's because the subreddit started popping up on when I was
That's why you
Reddit.
started watching it?
I started seeing pictures of people that I know are in it later that I never saw. And so I was like, I should finally just finish it. And this was like 3 days ago. And now you're
on season 4.
5.
Oh, 5. Wow.
5. Yeah. Wow. I have no self-control. And plus I was sick. So I've been putting off like things, and that's all I've been doing, watching The Walking Dead. So that is my spooky recommendation. I have to say the first, for me, seasons 1 through like at least 4, but especially season 1, just like perfectly captured. I don't know. It has just like this different, at the time, no other show was doing it like The Walking Dead. It was like so creepy, but it also showed like, there's like certain scenes where, oh my God, what is his name in the show? The main guy.
The sheriff?
Yeah.
I don't
Andrew
remember
Lincoln
his name.
is the actor.
Yeah. I don't remember.
Oh, Rick. Oh my God. That's
I was just going to say, I want to see Joe.
No, Joe is from The Last of Us.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Nope, that's Joel. I was wrong.
Joel is from nowhere. Joel is also from Santa Clarita Diet, another favorite.
That is another favorite of mine, yeah. But yeah, I feel like it just perfectly, like there's a scene where Rick is like by himself, and it's like an over the top shot, and you can just see like the empty ass streets and abandoned cars. And
imagery or scenery, whatever it's called, from that season was top notch, and I don't think other seasons compare.
No, and then especially I think probably season 5 and onward, there's like the cinematic experience wasn't there anymore. The writing kind of
happens as shows get popular and more seasons happen. Like the quality just goes downhill.
Yeah, like it should end at some point. And now there's an insane amount of spin-offs and
Daryl has a spin-off, right?
Yes.
There's the prequel show.
Yeah.
I forgot what it's called.
Is it Fear the Walking Dead?
I think so. And isn't there another one?
There's another one called The Ones Who Live. Yeah, I'm not watching all those. I want to at least get through The Walking Dead. I
kind of wanted to watch at some point the prequel just to understand kind of like how they got there.
I'm always curious about it too, but I just, episode 1, the way it started was also like just so perfect. We're like right in them in, like he just wakes up, and I mean, this cannot be a spoiler because the show's so old. Yeah, but just the way he's like, he was shot. He was in a coma for the longest time. He wakes up. He has no idea that one of the first walkers or zombies that he comes across is the little girl zombie. And he's like, are you okay? And he's forced to kill her. It's like, I don't think there was a lot of shows killing zombie kids for a while, but there's just something about the zombie kid that's just so creepy. And that just like, it was so perfectly done. It also reminds me of my other favorite zombie movie. They're at the mall for the longest time.
Oh, yeah. And
it's a classic.
I can't remember the name of anything. I know what you're talking about.
We're so bad today.
The one that, wait, not The Living Dead.
No. And it's not The Walking Dead. That's the show. No, of course.
I don't think he was in it. It does have dead in it, doesn't it?
No, I don't.
Or living?
Dawn. Oh, yeah. Dawn of the Dead.
I told you.
It does have dead in it. Wow, that took too long.
It did entirely.
Whew, okay. Dawn of the Dead. Where Dawn of the Dead starts, they're sleeping in the bed, and then like the neighbor girl walks in and they're like, what are you doing here? It's like in the middle of the night, and then she just like eats, attacks them.
Yeah.
That like just zombie kids it's extra creepy. And that first episode of The Walking Dead was like insane for including a little kid zombie that he has to kill.
Yeah.
And then there's another zombie that's like on the floor. She's like half her body's like cut off. It's just like it was so well done. And it's just, I was like nostalgic a little bit, I think, when I came across the subreddit, which I didn't know existed. And so then I'm like, now I must finish this.
There's a subreddit for all the shows out there for anything.
That's true. And that's half the reason why I started rewatching shows. I came across the New Girl one.
Oh,
the Degrassi was a TikTok.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that did spring on my brief Degrassi obsession. But that is my spooky recommendation. If anyone hasn't like watched The Walking Dead, seasons 1 through at least 4, like they're so good.
Yeah.
I've tried watching like other zombie shows, and for me, All of Us Are Dead is like, except that one.
Yeah.
There's another one I tried watching called Black Summer, and it just didn't have the same feel to me. Like The Walking Dead, I don't know. And even All of Us Are Dead, like, you get to know the characters. I just feel like Black Summer, there's too many characters to keep track of, and I just didn't care about them. Like in The Walking Dead, you get in like,
that's tricky to do.
You get your favorites. Even All of Us Are Dead. It's not that long, but by certain episodes, like you get to know the characters more. And for Black Summer, I just didn't feel that. And it's gotten good reviews too, but I just never finished. Like I didn't get past like episode 3. But right now I am knee deep in my Walking Dead obsession. So we'll see if I finish it. I don't know yet, but that is my spooky recommendation.
Okay. Well, I guess this brings us to the end of the episode.
It does. If anyone has any stories that they want to send in, again, that's spookytales@gmail.com. If you want bonus episodes, which we should record one for this month.
Yes.
I already have what I want to talk about. I want to talk about Rug Lady. It's going to be a paranormal news. Sort of, because that was sort of paranormal news.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah. So Rug Lady from TikTok, if you know, you know. And there was another thing.
I wanted to talk about P. Diddy.
That's right. So that'll be our Patreon episode, I think. But we have a bunch of Patreon episodes up. Sometimes we read scary stories to each other from Reddit. Sometimes we do paranormal news. There's 2 video vlogs up there from our time in Colorado and the time we went to the Hollywood Theater to watch that one movie that I can't remember. Yes. There's all sorts of stuff up there. Did you do what you said you were going to do?
So I have some footage and stuff. I just haven't sat down to try to put it together or anything.
Okay. Carmen made coffins and she was supposedly going to do like a little, send me the things to edit of the vlog for Patreon.
I wanted to do that.
Coffin behind her.
Then also a little bit from the party.
Yes.
But I didn't have time to I wanted to record making my drink and like a bunch of stuff, but I was running so late that day.
You were.
It was a good time though. Like if anyone is looking for like different kind of party to do for Halloween instead of your old, traditional Halloween party, you should throw a murder mystery party.
Okay. It sounded fun. I wish I could go.
Everyone
loved
it.
I could have gone. But yeah, all sorts of stuff on Patreon. But yeah, thanks so much for joining and for listening, for everyone else who just listens. And stay spooky. We'll catch everyone next time. Bye.
Bye.